Let me tell you about my cousin Jake. Jake is not bad with money. Jake saves. Jake pays his bills. Jake is the kind of guy who pays off his entire credit card every single month without missing once. So Jake goes to buy his first car. He walks into the dealership feeling confident. He knows he's been responsible. He sits down. The finance guy pulls up his credit score. And it's 681. Jake is confused. Jake is almost embarrassed. He asks the guy, "Is that good?" The finance guy says, "It's okay." Jake paid on time. Every time. For years, and his score was just okay. Here's the crazy part. Jake was doing something wrong without even knowing it, and I promise you, there's a very good chance you're doing the exact same thing right now. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you one simple fix. No extra money needed. No magic tricks, just a small change to when you pay, and your credit score can jump 30, 40, even 50 points. Let's get into it. First, I need to explain something that most people were never taught. You know how a report card works, right? Your teacher doesn't watch you every single second of every day and grade you on everything you do. Instead, at the end of the term, they look at your grades on a specific day and give you a report based on that. Your credit score works the exact same way. The credit bureaus, the companies that calculate your score, don't watch your bank account every day. They don't see when you pay your bill. They don't see that you have savings. They just get one report, once a month, from your credit card company, and that report says one thing: how much this person owes right now. That's it. One number. One moment in time, like a photo. Now here's where it gets unfair. That photo gets taken before you pay your bill. Let me show you how this works. Imagine your credit card limit is $5,000. During the month, you spend $2,000. Normal stuff, groceries, maybe a new pair of shoes, maybe dinner with friends. On the 30th of the month, your credit card company does something called closing the statement. Think of it like taking a monthly photo of your account. They freeze the number and write it down. Your balance at that moment? $2,000. That $2,000 gets sent straight to the credit bureaus. That's what shows up on your credit report. But your bill isn't actually due until about 25 days later, so you haven't even had the chance to pay yet. The photo was taken before you cleaned up the room. So what does your credit report show? It shows you owe $2,000 out of a $5,000 limit. That's 40% utilization. And 40%? The algorithm does not like that. Your score drops. Meanwhile, you're sitting at home thinking, "I always pay on time. Why is my score going down?" Here's the thing that makes it even more frustrating. There's a rule in the credit score world called credit utilization. It basically means, out of all the credit you're allowed to use, how much are you actually using? Think of it like a glass of water. If the glass is almost full, that looks bad. It looks like you need all that water. But if the glass is almost empty, that looks great. It looks like you have plenty and you're in control. The credit bureaus want your glass to look almost empty. Here's roughly how it works. Under 30%. Okay. Not great. Not terrible. Under 10%. Really good. Around 1 to 7%. Perfect. That's where people with 800 plus credit scores usually live. And this single factor, utilization, makes up about 30% of your credit score. Almost a third. So if your utilization looks high on the day that photo is taken, your score drops. Even if you were about to pay the whole thing off. That's exactly what happened to Jake. And it happens to millions of people every month. Let me tell you about my cousin Jake. Jake is not bad with money. Jake saves. Jake pays his bills. Jake is the kind of guy who pays off his entire credit card every single month without missing once. So Jake goes to buy his first car. He walks into the dealership feeling confident. He knows he's been responsible. He sits down. The finance guy pulls up his credit score. And it's 681. Jake is confused. Jake is almost embarrassed. He asks the guy, "Is that good?" The finance guy says, "It's okay." Jake paid on time. Now here's the good news. The fix is so simple, it almost feels like cheating. All you have to do is pay your bill before the photo gets taken. That's it. Let me walk you through it. First, you need to find your statement closing date. Every credit card has two important dates. The due date, which is when you must pay to avoid a late fee, and the statement closing date, which is when the snapshot is taken. These are not the same date. They're usually about 20 to 25 days apart. To find your closing date, open your credit card app. Go to Statements. Open any previous statement. Look for something called Billing Cycle End or Statement Date. That is the day the photo gets taken. Write it down. Put it in your calendar, because that date is now the most important date in your credit life. Now here's the new routine. Set a reminder 3 days before your closing date. When that reminder goes off, open your app. Look at your current balance, then pay most of it off. Not all of it. Leave just a tiny amount. For example, if your balance is $2,000 and your limit is $5,000, pay $1,950. Leave about $50. Why 3 days early? Because bank transfers can take a day or two to process. You want the payment cleared before the snapshot happens. Then the closing date arrives. The credit card company takes their snapshot. Your balance? $50. That $50 gets reported to the credit bureaus. $50 out of a $5,000 limit is about 1% utilization, and that is exactly where you want to be. Then about 3 weeks later, your due date arrives. Your statement says you owe $50. You pay it. Done. You paid your card off. You paid 0 interest, but your credit report showed perfect utilization. It's like cleaning your room before the inspection instead of after. Now some of you might be wondering something. Why not just pay everything to 0 before the closing date? Why leave anything at all? Great question, and the answer surprises a lot of people. If you show 0 balance on every card every month, your score can actually drop slightly, because the credit scoring system is trying to measure how well you handle debt. If it sees 0 every single month, it can't really evaluate you. It's like a teacher who can't grade you because you never turned in any homework, not because you did something wrong, but because they have nothing to evaluate. So leaving a tiny balance, around 1%, shows the system that you use credit responsibly. On a $5,000 limit, that's about $50. On a $2,000 limit, that's about $20. Just enough to show the algorithm you know how to handle credit. Let's quickly recap. Find your statement closing date. Set a reminder 3 days before it. Pay your balance down to around 1% of your limit. Let the statement close, then pay the remaining small balance before the due date. No extra money. No new accounts. No tricks. Just better timing. One quick warning. Don't repeatedly max out your card, pay it off, then max it out again, all in the same month. Banks call that credit cycling. And it can look suspicious. If you're constantly hitting your limit, simply call your bank and ask for a credit limit increase. If you already pay on time, they'll often approve it, and a higher limit automatically improves your utilization. Call to action. Here's your homework this week. Just do one thing. Open one of your credit card apps. Find the statement closing date. Write it down. Then next month try this strategy. Pay your balance down to about 1% before that date. Watch your credit monitoring app, and when you see your score go up, come back and comment how many points you gained. I love seeing those numbers, and it helps everyone else watching know this strategy actually works. If you want a part 2 on how to use this trick 60 days before applying for a mortgage or car loan to maximize your credit score, let me know in the comments. And if this video finally made credit scores make sense for you, share it with someone who needs it, because credit scores affect everyone, but almost nobody teaches this stuff in simple terms. I'll see you in the next video.